How the heroes of Ukraine and the martyrs, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Reiner, are going to end Trumpism. So thank you to all the heroes of Ukraine, all the martyrs of Ukraine, and these martyrs, the Reiners. And I want to invite Jesus into the live. I want to invite even all the fake Jesuses into the live for defeating Trump together, for all of us working together to end Trumpism, to end this evil Antichrist Trumpism. So, thank you. God bless you. Mary bless you. Mary bless you. Mary bless you. Jesus bless you. Judas bless you. I bless you. And bless yourself. And thanks for being here. Thanks for your sacrifices, everyone who's helping stop Trump. Especially thanks to the Reiners. Thanks to Rob Reiner for all of his work, all of his inspiring storytelling in Hollywood, all of his movies, and all of his activism and his wife's activism. I don't know what else his wife was into, but I know she was also part of their joint activism. And that's part of what, got him on Trump's radar to begin with, what made Trump turn this into a terrorist attack that Trump's claiming. And this should be a trap for Trump. This should be the end of Trumpism, not only because it's getting at least a few Republicans to finally break with Trump, but it's just something that everybody can understand on a very basic level, whether they're one of millions of Americans and other people around the world who are fans of Rob Reiner's work, because that's already millions of people, whether it's millions of people who are fans of his activism and speaking out against Trump, whether it's the even many more millions of people who now see examples of that activism because he was killed. The way many people who, when they pass on, especially, early, they're celebrated and everybody hears their music again, or everybody realizes how much they mean to the world. And so in that way, Rob Reiner is going to end Trumpism because he's more powerful than Trump. They struck him down and he became more powerful than they can possibly imagine. And he's going to overpower Trump and save the country. Hello. We're going to save the country. It's the same situation with Jesus. Jesus is anti-Trump. Trump is the Antichrist. So Jesus is very helpful and useful. Maybe the most helpful and useful, one there is to defeating Trump. But it still requires all of our help, and the usefulness requires us to get in touch with and use these spirits who are on our side. So thank you to Rob Reiner for all you did in life and what you're doing even more from the afterlife in ending Trumpism. And we're all going to do our part to help out. We're going to end Trump now. And I've got to give credit to Ukraine defeating Russia, because they're continuously defeating Russia and winning this war despite people not wanting to tell you that, or people even telling you to the contrary. I just saw Net and YouTube was pushing a video right before I went live. Somebody who was lying about Ukraine. Charlie, what? Okay, comparing Charlie Kirk and Rob Reiner is anti-Semitic and antichrist and anti-American. Comparing their deaths could have something to implicate the Groypers, the CIA, the Mossad. Sure. But comparing their lives is antichrist, anti-American, and anti-Semitic. You should not do that. They're not good at trolling. I'm sorry, Decoded. Never mind the trolls. We can mute them so that they don't bother us. Plug socket. Oh, Christ. Have you heard the Aphex Twins? You listen to Aphex Twin, Decoded produced? Oh, Christ. I didn't see the Palestinian flag. Plug socket, exactly. Only in America, mate. You man or woman. Why do you only offer 2 choices? I'll let you guys guess my gender in comments. You get 36 guesses. Now, where were we? Rob Reiner. Okay, they fell for one of the classic blunders. You don't start a land war in Asia. You don't go up against a Sicilian where death is on the line. And Putin did the first one, and Trump did the second one. Like, we're ending Trumpism, and the last straw being Rob Reiner. Yeah, I can see it. So I saw the creator Rathbone. He's like a leftist on YouTube, and his content was promoted to me, even though I was a little chagrined that his response to Dick Cheney was promoted to me, whereas my response to Charlie Kirk was not, let's just say, not promoted. Okay, so Rathbone was like responding to someone's comment that now they were mad at Trump because of what he said about Rob Reiner. And he was just freaking out, like, now, not all the other stuff. And the person's like, well, the person said they weren't political. You know, people avoid this stuff. But because of what he said about Rob Reiner, that's touching a nerve with people who otherwise avoided politics. That's part of how we beat Trump. The people who have avoided it finally becoming engaged and finding out what's been going on that they've missed out on. The Republicans who are finally turning and becoming American again. Like, people who are turning on Trump, we can celebrate them and welcome them back to America, and we will win. We only need a few of them to finish the impeachment, if we could get the Democrats to go through with the impeachment. There's the other sticking point. We've got most Democrats going along with the impeachment. We've got some pretty suspicious ones that are blocking it. And we should let them know that we look at that as Trumpism. We look at that as treason as well. But wait, are you racially Jewish? What are these questions? I watched The Grinch and Charlie Brown last night. Congratulations, how'd you like them? Good movie night, I bet. Was it Charlie Brown Christmas where they get the little tree? Oh yeah, we're beating Trump. Rob Reiner's beating Trump. The martyr Rob Reiner, and Ukraine is beating Trump. I gotta say that amongst living people in America, there's not, like, Jenna Griswold, our Secretary of State in Colorado. She's awesome. She's like the biggest American hero in America, as far as I can tell. Let me know if you can nominate anybody better. She kicked Trump off the ballot in the first place. She was the only American to do that, or one of like 2 Americans who managed to do that. And then she denied Trump his pardon of his fake electors, Tina Peters, who tried to throw the election. She denied Trump his pardon. So she's done 2 anti-Trump things. Let me know in comments if anybody else has done anything significantly anti-Trump in America. But Ukraine has been defeating Trump and Putin. Defeating Trump by defeating Putin. And so I got to give a lot of credit to Ukraine. Ukraine is kicking Russia's ass right now. Our media is pretty captured, so they don't tell you this. But you won't find out about it unless you kind of look around for it. But Ukraine is destroying Russia right now, and it's awesome. Putin's going to lose, and he's going to lose real soon. And that's why he's kind of throwing the kitchen sink at everything. And why they're going to overextend. They're going to, like, show their hands. Like, you know, that peace deal that Trump had that was like a surrender deal for Ukraine that was, like, obviously badly translated from Russian. That's going to be a trap. You know, it's going to show that that's like just our proof that Trump is a traitor. You can't answer. So aren't you? What? I didn't see your question. Repeat your question. What the? Rob Reiner is beating Trump? Yeah, Rob Reiner is beating Trump. Well, Trump's beating himself by deciding to claim the Rob Reiner killing as his own Trumper terrorist attack. He's like, you know, like a terrorist network claiming an attack, even if they didn't do it. That's kind of what Trump did. Maybe he did do it, though. I mean, let's not, you know, take blame away from him that he deserves. You know, maybe he did have it done. Maybe, you know, Nick Reiner was a groyper if he's the one who did it. Or maybe the Mossad or the CIA or some groypers did it, you know. Some more groypers. Movies that I grew up on. Another one is Christmas Story. I didn't see that one. Ricus's Tongue on the Pole. I didn't see that one. I've heard it's good, though. A lot of people talk about it. You're an idiot if you think Ukraine is destroying Russia. No, Ukraine's destroying Russia. Okay, so let's talk about Ukraine for a minute. Ukraine is kicking Russia's ass, especially lately. They've been destroying Russia. I mean, Putin's been destroying Russia and getting a lot of Russians killed by sending them against Ukraine, who is not having it. And Ukraine's winning. They've got like motivated soldiers. They've got right on their side. They're becoming unleashed from, USA was kind of restricting them in the past. And now the USA is taking itself out of the picture. Trump's taking USA out of the picture. So Ukraine's able to do more. And they just took out a Russian sub. They just, yes, I apologize for my ancestors' wrongdoing. Sorry about that. Right. Well, they say, you guys are really in a hurry to go with that explanation. Maybe he did do it. If he did do it, did he have internet access? Was he motivated by groypers? Was he motivated by Trump Trump-Hooteniers? Was he motivated by one of Trump's terrorist networks? Was he motivated by the CIA? Was he motivated by anything other than, or is it a completely personal family affair? If it is a completely personal family affair, then it's even more wrong for Trump to inject himself and make it about him. That's like a terrorist network claiming someone else's attack. But by claiming it as a terrorist attack, Trump is, first of all, admitting he's a terrorist. And secondly, he's, trying to make it about him. So he's going to get the attention for it. And Rob Reiner was already anti-Trump in life. And when they struck him down, he'll become even more powerful than they can possibly imagine. It's going to be all like, you killed my father, prepared to die. Ukraine has right on their side, yeah. It wasn't their land to start with, but you can't spell their correctly. Trump-Hooteniers are the stupidest people in the world. Stupidest people who've ever lived. It wasn't their land to start with, ... But you spelled there, like the location there. Anyway, demons, brother, demons. Ukraine, yes. We all love Ukraine. Sorry, are you American, mate? Does that mean you're Australian because you said mate? Are you being Australian because you said mate? Anyway, thanks for being here. Yeah, Ukraine's winning, and Ukraine's saving America. Like, Ukraine is the biggest heroes of America right now, is my larger point. And Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Reiner, and Jenna Griswold. Living Americans, Jenna Griswold's the only person who's really coming to mind. American martyrs, Rob Reiner and his wife, Michelle Reiner, defeating Trump. So thank you so much. Sorry, and thank you so much, Rob Reiner. Thank you so much, Michelle Reiner. Ukraine, as far as living and martyred heroes, defeating Trump and Putin, Ukraine. They're all Ukrainian. Like, everybody in Ukraine is doing more than anybody in America is doing. So we should be ashamed and grateful and thankful and love and respect to Ukraine for saving America, because they're saving America from Trump and Putin more than anybody in America is saving us from Trump or Putin. How is Ukraine winning? On the battlefield. It's also spiritual warfare. Thank you. Was lost, now found. You're correct. It's also spiritual warfare. And we're winning the spiritual warfare. We're doing our part here by winning the spiritual warfare. We have Jesus on our side. They are the Antichrist Trump. The more we talk openly about that, Jesus set Judas aside outside of Christianity. Judas isn't responsible for any of the evils of Christianity. And he's allowed to come back now and replace all their churches. So we take all Christian churches. Let people know this. Church of Judas replaces all patriarchy, Christianity, war, and Trumpism. Check out the hashtag Church of Judas. That's how we take their churches while they've been burning our schools and libraries and government and trying to destroy us in all these ways. We're taking their churches. They've left their rear flank unguarded, whatever, We're taking their churches. We're going to repurpose their churches. Check out the Church of Judas for how that's going to take place. You're fired. It is a spiritual warfare. Ukraine is winning in all sorts of ways. Ukraine's also being funded by Japan, I just found out. So Japan's just dumping money to Ukraine so that they can rebuild everything. So, unfortunately, despite the casualties, the more things they destroy, the more they'll just be able to rebuild, like, immediately. Do you live in California by chance? No? Shame on you. Don't worry about spelling. I mean, it's all in context. We all know what's being said. Yeah, but it's just always funny to point out Trump Boutonniers can't spell because you're stupid. Like MAGA Trump Boutonniers, stupidest people that have ever lived on the planet, like ever. Like going back to caveman days. Y'all are stupider than them bitches that could only grunt. Y'all are like the stupidest people that have ever lived. Trump Boutonniers are. And you can't spell. Like one of the signs that you're stupid is you can't spell. Okay. Are you related to Gavin Newsom? You devil. What's about the poor North Koreans being forced to fight? Well, again, Russia's had to kidnap people from all sorts of countries. I think it's 150 countries Russia's been kidnapping people from. And those people get killed in Ukraine. Putin is killing those people in Ukraine. That's stupid. He also kidnapped over 40,000 children from Ukraine. Probably a lot more than that. For sex trafficking, because Trump and Putin are sex traffickers. Like, if we talk about these things openly and stop them, like if we have consequences, Trump's about to try to steal thousands of babies for sex trafficking, right? Because he's going to try to take citizenship away from babies. Why does Trump want to take citizenship away from thousands of babies? So he can kidnap them for his sex trafficking ring. The Supreme Court's going to help him do it. You're helping him do it unless you're going to say something against it. I'm not helping him do it. I'm stopping him doing it because I'm telling you about it. You can tell people about it. You can post about it. You can comment about it. You can stop Trump in the Supreme Court from taking the citizenship away from babies so Trump can kidnap and sex traffic them if you give a living fuck. We'll see whether you do or not. This is your test. This isn't a regular live. This is like, making you American again. See if we can make you American or human again. See if we can make Trump Boutonniers American and human again. Encourage people who are against Trump that, hey, there's people who are even more against Trump than you are. You're in the right place. We can do it. We're taking their churches. We're taking them out of government. We're taking their homes and property and their companies. Like any company that funded Trump's attack on the White House, we're taking that company. That's all the biggest companies and all the richest people in America. We're taking that property, Oh, shut up. Jesus loves Trump. No, Jesus hates Trump. Trump is Antichrist. Jesus loves all humans. Antichrist, not so much. We are all entitled to our own opinions, but damn, guy, where are you getting your info? It's just the truth. Like, other people will recognize it as the truth. Okay, let's see what other people have to say. Thanks for being here. Thanks for leaving comments, especially if you're anti-Trump. If you're pro-Trump, I'm probably going to make fun of you. Like, it might get worse than that, but one of the titles for this live was going to be Open Belief, to open up people's belief to greater belief. If you can open up my belief to a greater belief, I'd welcome to hear it. But Trump is a reduced belief or an anti-belief. Trump is an evil belief. Trump is, like I said, Antichrist. Jesus defeats Trump. All good spirits are on our side. I don't even know if there's any spirits, even evil spirits, on their side. I don't even know if evil spirits exist because there doesn't seem to be any spirit on their side. They have a mass of evil, but no spirits. We should all listen to the guy who hasn't slept in 7 days high on black tar heroin. Who's that guy? Tag him in comments if you think he has a lot to say. I care about you as much as you care about me, so it's common knowledge. I'm going to look into this Judas stuff. Oh, thanks. I hope you enjoy it. I'm not totally sure. Interesting subject, however. Yeah. So Jesus is from the goddess. So one way you'll know what the real Christianity is from is whether they tell you Jesus is from the goddess. That God is fake and false and wrong. God led to all this Christian bullshit, right? Christianity is a trap. Here's one way to understand it. Jesus is to Christianity. Jesus is real. Christianity is a fake trap. Okay? The goddess is real. God is a fake trap. Okay? America. The American ideals are real. MAGA is a fake trap. Okay? Oz is real. Wicked is a fake trap. It goes on and on. They keep making fake traps to replace things that are good. It's like what they do. It's like their whole game plan. The same way they keep shooting themselves. MAGA keeps shooting themselves, shooting other MAGAs. and then blaming us for it. And then they shoot us too, and they kill us too. They kill the Americans too. But then they blame us for it, and they're always lying. It's always them doing it. It's always them lying about who did it. We can tell that it's always the same people doing it too. Okay, it was auto spell mistake, not misspelling. Okay, I'm sorry. You know how to spell. Aloha, y'all. Thanks, autocorrect fairies. Why do you resort to insults, like calling me stupid instead of responding to the point? I don't remember your point. You'll have to retype it. I'm just listening because this is interesting if it's true. If you're curious about the Judas stuff, I wrote a whole book about it, but the Gospel of Judas is what it's based on. You can just look up Gospel of Judas and read it yourself. There's some like esoteric stuff in the middle that I don't understand. I can't even try to explain, but a lot of it's really obvious. I mean, a lot of what he's saying, what Jesus tells Judas in their secret conversations, is really obvious. I'll give you the meat and bones of it right now. Well, one, he tells them all to stop sacrificing animals. He tells all the disciples to stop sacrificing animals, but stop sacrificing animals. He was very firm about it. Stop sacrificing animals didn't make it into the Bible. So, the same people that cut this information out, cut out any versions of the Bible stories that were included that included stop sacrificing animals. So a certain, agenda controlled that, and it was against this message, stop sacrificing animals. Of course, people stopped sacrificing animals to a large extent since then, but Jesus was ahead of his time, and the people that were in control partly because of animal sacrifice, the ones Jesus was criticizing. They remained in control, so they twisted Jesus's message. Okay, that's right there. But Jesus has a secret conversation with Judas, and he tells him, you're going to be hated for what you do. Like, the entire world's going to hate you for centuries, for millennium, 2,000 years, which happened. And then your side of the story is going to be revealed, and your church is going to replace all their churches. Okay, Judas's side of the story has been revealed in 2006, Gospel of Judas. They finally had a copy, they finally translated it, and got it out to the world. I wrote my book about 5-6 years ago. Nobody gives a fuck. Like, nobody on the planet cares. Like, I'm about the only person who cares, right? You're interested, so that makes two of us, right? But, like, it's just some Jesus prophecy. Like, when you read it, you can tell for yourself. You don't have to take my word for it, Don't take my word for it, like reading Rainbow. Just read it, and you'll be able to tell, oh, this is obviously Jesus talking. This is the way Jesus talks, and this is the type of stuff Jesus would say. And this is like a brilliant plan, because otherwise, another part of the Gospel of Judas is that it reveals how evil the churches are going to be. So if Jesus knew in advance how evil the churches were going to be and all the evil things the churches were going to do, why would he let it happen? Why would he even, why would he do something about it? Or he would be a bad person, if you're a bad God or whatever, if he didn't do something about it. So he did do something about it. He had Judas set aside outside of all the evils that the churches did. Again, everybody hated Judas. So Judas didn't do any of the evil things that the churches did. But now he comes back and replaces those churches because he didn't have anything to do with that stuff. He's the disciple, the male disciple that did not betray Jesus, actually. The other ones did, as evidenced in the churches that they produced. Aloha, y'all. Aloha. Thank you for listening to the Church of Judas content. There's 13 people here now. At one point, Jesus says to Judas, you 13th demon. It's very interesting. Why would he call Judas, you 13th demon? Like, wait, who are the other 12 demons? Anyway. Don't suppose you have any proof. Good luck, fella. Yeah, it's from the Gospel of Judas. You can look it up yourself. What's Epstein Island like? Are you asking the other Trumpers in comments? I don't think they're that level Trumper. I will see. I'm just here. I'm not sure. Thanks for listening. Mate, you look like you hang around schools. So the thing about Gospel of Judas and the Church of Judas is there's not any authority in it. Like, I might be the person who's explaining it to the world right now, but anybody else who can explain it better than me, and I'm sure different people can explain it to different people better than I can, and in ways that, so it's just the truth is the authority. Everybody can tell what the truth is. It's obviously true. It's, Jesus and the authority of the truth is the authority. There's no authority structure in the Church of Judas. It's very much opposite of Christian churches. Like most things you can think about Christian churches. I mean, it's not against having food. You know, Christian churches have food afterwards. Not against the good things about Christian churches, but all the bad ones, yes, against those things. Dad, I missed you. Another whining lunatic. They get mad when you say the truth. They're always mad. You look like you've been through electroshock therapy. You let me know when I was 6 years old. TDS is real sickness. Get yourself some help. Trump 2028. Trump truth is a bitter pill to swallow. You're brainwashed. Truth hurts. You're HIV positive. Let's go Trump, send more free money. You were like radical brainwashed zealot. Years ago, you would have been locked up and called a lunatic. He like revels in the idea of locking up people and calling them lunatics. It's like, okay. My favorite part of the Bible is when Jesus overturned the Kirk Memorial merch tables. Exactly. Porgy, exactly. I'm sorry it took me so long to get to your comment. I hope you've suffered through all my rants and stuff and you're still here, because that was hilarious. And that's one of my favorite parts of the Bible too. And why did he do that? Because they were selling animals. He chased the money changers, the people who sold animals for sacrifice to people for money. They changed people's money into animals so they could sacrifice them. He chased the money changers and the animals that they were selling out of the temple. And that fits in with what I just told you from the Gospel of Judas. He says, stop sacrificing animals. He's very emphatic about telling all the disciples, stop sacrificing animals. That's one of his messages to everybody. Stop sacrificing animals. But they didn't do it. In fact, that may have been part of the motivation for trying to get him killed by the Romans. Remember, the Romans, the system, are the ones who killed Jesus. The system is the guilty one. Again, Church of Judas changes things around. It's not about your sin, individual sin. Churches will become places where we get together to criticize, but not just like talk about it, but to let the system know what's wrong with it, what the system needs to do to be responsive to local communities. But the sin of the system is what needs to be addressed, not the sin of individuals. Like, stealing isn't the problem. Poverty is the sin. It's a sin of the system. My favorite part of the Bible is when Jesus overturned the Kirk Memorial merch tables. When you can't take anything, however, if wrong is wrong, wrong is wrong. I'm not totally sure. I will make my decision today. I'm not like Trump is a man, but Jesus is like a creator. I'm not sure. I don't know. Yeah, Jesus is like a creator, though. I can agree with that. That sounds true. You and MAGA are different arms of the same beast. That's what you don't realize. Yeah, tell me how that's the case. Would you call me Blue MAGA? I'm more like Mamdani no matter who. Like, we should get rid of everybody who didn't support Mamdani. We should get rid of everybody who doesn't support impeachment of Trump. We should replace them with people who are ready to replace Trump. What the fuck, Elon? No, I'm an actual intelligent person. Elon's not very intelligent. So, I'm an actual intelligent person. Morning, Spirit Brother. Morning, Joseph Bearpaw. Nice to meet you. Thanks for calling me Spirit Brother. That really makes my day. And good morning, Spirit Brother. Why are you trying to be smart? It's obviously not your thing. Oh, you spelled your correctly, though. So hold on. You might not be a Trump-Putineer. I'm going to take your criticism as well-intentioned. Try being homeless. Think you would do much better yelling at garbage cans. Well, I don't know that you really have well-intentioned advice after all. I thought you might be like a super genius, and you're like, this guy's just a mere regular genius. I'll tell him what a super genius. So that's kind of what I'm looking for in this live. Open belief. Like, I want to open my belief up to a greater form of belief. If anyone can indicate a greater form of belief to me than the one I'm putting out to you, let me know. My form of belief is the one that's replacing Christianity. Me too. Ain't no man gonna save us. Only Yeshua and or Jesus of Nazareth. That's it. Aren't they supposed to be the same people? I love the poorly educated. BJT on his voters. Exactly. BJT did go down on his voters like that. BJT went down on his voters by saying that he loved the poorly educated. And then they all cheered. Are you going to be in the next Home Alone movie? Why do people... Because of Sticky Bandits? Do you guys think I look like one of the Sticky Bandits? Does it trigger you that I'm going to get your star of Home Alone 2? Rob Reiner will get the star of your Home Alone 2, though. The ghost of Rob Reiner, or the martyr Rob Reiner and his martyred wife, Michelle Reiner, will defeat Trump. Like, we're seeing this through. As I was saying before, Rathbone did this video about how he couldn't believe this person was so upset with Trump in his response to Rob Reiner. The person said, I don't care about politics, but I'm mad about how Trump spoke about Rob Reiner. That covers a lot of people. That brings a lot of people into this conversation that previously were able to, for whatever reason, ignore what Trump was doing. You know, they did that. You know, they ignored what Trump was doing. They managed to ignore what Trump was doing for whatever reason. But when he spoke ill of Rob Reiner, when he made it about himself, dude, y'all don't understand. Rob Reiner's been generational influence in America. Before influencers, Rob Reiner was influential. Like, he's a hero to people from decades ago. Not just for speaking out against Trump recently, although that did get amplified by his death. All the videos I saw were videos of him saying, we have 1 year to stop this fascism. We have 1 year to stop Trump. So in death, from sacrificing his life, he'll end up defeating Trump. We'll end up defeating Trump with the help of Rob Reiner, with the help of Jesus, with the help of all good spirits. All good spirits are on our side defeating Trump. You can tell this stuff is true. Okay. You remind me of a good friend of mine. Well, thank you so much. That's very kind. Maybe we can be good friends as well. Matthew. His name is Matthew. Cool. Books of Judas was removed. The disciples' book was removed. Yeah. But they've got copies of the Gospel of Judas now. Anybody can look it up. And you can check out my book. The book, it's called The Book of Judas. Or you can just check out my content. # Church of Judas. Huh. Good friend of mine. Christ is king, beware of the synagogue of Satan. That sounds kind of anti-Semitic and suspicious. I don't know. Maybe you don't mean it that way. But I say Christ is the anti-king, leader of no kings. And we defeat Antichrist Trump and the Antichrist King of Kings conception of Jesus, which just justifies all this kingly authority and stuff, which is not Jesus at all. Everybody knows that's not Jesus. I believe that says, all religions and beliefs believe in a person who will come at the end of time to save them. I don't know. I think that's just a development that can happen within any religion. I don't think that's a core belief of any religion. In fact, I think that's maybe a fringe belief that in some cases takes over. But Christianity has been kind of a false religion. So for that idea to take over Christianity makes sense because, again, it feeds on some sorts of falsities. Whereas Jesus is the truth. Jesus is really much opposite of Christianity in a lot of ways. What do you do for work? Said hi. There is something common in religions, and that is a beautiful thing. I think so too. I think Christianity can become a religion on par with those other religions when it sheds this like cocoon stage, this pupa stage, this low-level stage of Christianity. Christianity's been a lot of bullshit and terror for a long time, but we can replace it. Like, it's within that something else, or to take the place of that, something else much better can emerge. Something that really has to do with Jesus and love and democracy, in fact. Jesus and Judas kind of speak about democracy. In my interpretation, they're talking about democracy. Anyone told you to look like the guy from the Saw films? No, I've never seen a Saw film, but no one's ever actually said that before either. I get Edward Norton. People say I look like Edward Norton, but we won't talk about that. And then people say some guy Daniel somebody, I don't know who it is, Daniel Larson, I don't know who that is though. They say that, and then they say Doc Brown. We all miss our father. Don't worry about anybody who talks in the chat. Most are so wrong, it's ridiculous. Oh, I never worry about people in the chat. I worry about you because you're obviously a good spirit, a good person saying good things. Why we eat turkey on Christmas? I don't know. It might be that Scrooge movie, A Christmas Carol. Dustin, are you calling me a liar? Blood gods are not needed when your deity is a master of all creation. Yeah, we seem to all worship a blood god. We're like, well, who won this war? That's who God favored. It's like, well, why does God favor the side that kills the most and best? That seems like a bad god. And then blood gods that demand sacrifice. They're false gods, or they're interloper gods. They're like, gods that have jumped in and imposed themselves between us and the goddess. I think of the one we should be worshiping as the goddess. So one way you can tell that your god is fake is they call it a god. instead of the goddess. He's not what goes into one's mouth that defiles a person, it's what comes out. Yeah, that's to speak against different dietary traditions, I guess, or restrictions. Entertain me at once, peasant. No, Kyle, I'm not. What did Kyle say? I didn't see Kyle's question. Entertain me at once, peasant. Elon, whether you like him or not, is smart. No, he's not really. He's really not that smart. It doesn't take that much intelligence to not be a fascist. And Elon definitely fell far below that watermark with his Roman salute on brand for his armband. How many Jewish rabbis have been caught in the USA for abusing American kids and then leave to Israel with no prison sentence? I don't know. I have no idea. You're saying it's a lot. You might be saying that because you're being anti-Semitic. I will say that thanks to Sammy Obeid, the comedian, I know that the head of Israel's cybersecurity, Tom Abramovich, or I think Abramovich, anyway, Tom, the head of Israel's cybersecurity, came over to Las Vegas this summer, 2025, and got busted in a pedo sting trying to get with a 15-year-old. And he got busted by the police, but they let him go because he's the head of Israel's cyber. I mean, they just caught him like they were catching any other pedo in their sting. And they caught him, but they let him go. So that doesn't look good for that connection. Jesus, Dustin, Christianity is not the answer. No, Christianity was a trap by design. Christianity trapped all these empires. So one of the things about the Gospel of Judas, I'm going to have to tell you all more about this. One of the things about the Gospel of Judas is it's mostly a conversation, like a secret conversation between Jesus and Judas, where Jesus asks him to do what he does. So first thing you need to know is Jesus and Judas is a good guy. Judas is doing what Jesus wanted. But there's also a part where all the disciples have a dream, and they come and talk to Jesus about it. And it's about all these terrible things, or it includes all these terrible things. So Jesus explains to him, these terrible things that you all had the same dream about, are all the terrible things your churches are going to do in my name in the future. Like he tells them that. And when you look at all the terrible things they describe, yeah, it's like the things that these churches have done in the future. So it's like he knew in advance how bad the churches were going to be. Why did he let it happen? Well, he also knew that these churches were going to rise to the level of empires, and the churches are enmeshed with all these empires, the worst empires in human history. And now that they're all enmeshed in this Christianity, once we replace the churches, once we reform Christianity, we take those empires down. This is how we end war, because war is all the result of these different empires. But if we end the empires and we end war, and all the good people who surround evil or misled or misleading people are surrounded by good, well-intentioned people, just like Trump in America. Once people turn on Trump, all his former supporters are the most dangerous people in America, and they're going to turn on him. And they're surrounding him. In church's case, yeah, it's not dangerous people, but it's still everyone's surrounding somebody who's either going to have to change themselves in order to lead the way Jesus really wants. And it's not even the same like authority position anymore, as I discussed earlier. It's just telling the truth about what Jesus really represents. Or to get replaced by somebody who will do that. But it reforms all the churches, ends all the empires, ends all the wars, ends all Trumpism, ends all patriarchy, ends all capitalism. What Jesus would do. What would Jesus do? Speaking of which, WWWH, who would Washington hang? Washington would hang the traitors. MAGA Trump-ooneers. Trump and his cronies. This is the only difficult subject, and I respect you for diving deep down into this. Thank you. I've talked about it a lot. The only reason I'm even able to talk about it this deeply right now is because I have someone, yourself, in the chat, in the live, who I feel like understands what I'm saying, so it's worth saying it. So thank you for being here, listening to and understanding what I'm talking about. Hopefully you'll enjoy looking up more about it. And just, again, check out my content, Church of Judas, and we can talk on comments in there as well. Some of them aren't as directly about this, because I'll hashtag other things Church of Judas as well. Daniel Stern is dope as fuck. I don't know who that is. Say hi. All he does is chill on his farm. That's cool. Reiner publicly condemned the assassination attempts against Trump, expressing absolute horror. and stating that political violence is never a solution, regardless of one's belief. Exactly. Reiner was on the right side of things. Violence is not good in general. And Reiner was for us. Reiner was for Palestine. Reiner was for American rights. Reiner was against fascism. Reiner was a good guy. And as a martyr for our cause, for everyone's cause against Trump, against Putin, against Netanyahu, as a martyr for our cause, Reiner will defeat Trump. Rob Reiner, in death, will defeat Trump. In life, he was on our side working hard. He was doing a lot. But in death, he will be more powerful than they can possibly imagine since they struck him down. The physical form may pass, the spirit is eternal. Yes, and people have powers in their spiritual life. Like he had powers in his physical life. He was a big Hollywood guy. But he's got even more powers in his spiritual life. And he has the powers through all these people who recognized him through his life's work, through his Hollywood work, and his activism. And like anybody else who dies, their message gets amplified around the time of their death. This is going to be amplified enough to topple Trumpism. It's already shaken a lot of Republicans free of Trump. And once they cross Trump on one thing, including not gloating about Rob Reiner's death, they're going to get a bunch of death threats from all the stupid-ass Trump boutonnieres, just like Marjorie Taylor Greene did. Then they're going to realize what they've created. It just breaks more and more people apart from it, which is good. It's terrible that people have to be that violent and stuff to begin with, that's what it takes. But, they don't have to be that violent, but it ends up taking these terrible things to get people, and Trump saying the worst things anybody could ever say, to get people to like wake up from it. It takes a rough shaking. I'm only just hearing about Rob. I hope everything is okay. Well, he was killed. And then Trump gloated about it. Trump took sympathy for the killer, saying that it was because he had to put up with Rob Reiner being against Trump that he killed him, and he celebrated it. Would get him canceled on platforms, But no, Rob Reiner was killed, and his wife was killed. What about Bo Nix? Exactly. We're talking about, we're Bo-Leavers, Bronco Obama cult. There's another hashtag you can check out. We're going all the way. Dude, Broncos all the way. We're winning all the games the rest of this season. It's awesome. Loving Bo Nix and the Broncos. Go Broncos. Are you wet or sticky? Like a wet bandit or sticky bandit? Jesus betrayed Judas. No, they're both good. Don't speak for everyone. Many people only think of him as a meathead. Are you a believer? Yes, totally believer. Everybody's a believer here in Colorado. Why was one of the, and in surrounding states as well, why was one of the apostles' books removed by the Catholic Church? I think a lot of them were, weren't they? Probably because of information they didn't want people to know and think about. Jesus in other churches too, not just Catholics, I think. Jesus is the opposite of Christianity. Damn, that's literally the most ignorant statement you could possibly make. No, America is the opposite of MAGA. Jesus is the opposite of Antichrist Trump. Jesus is the opposite of Christianity. I can prove it to you right now. Okay? Do we blame Jesus for Hitler? Do we blame Jesus for Putin? Do we blame Jesus for Trump? No. Jesus didn't have anything to do with those assholes. But do we blame Christianity for Hitler? Can we blame Christianity for Putin? Can we blame Christianity for Trump? Yeah, we can and should, because Christianity did have something to do with all three of those assholes. So, you got to admit, Christianity's got some problems. Jesus isn't that problem. Jesus is good. And the other thing about the Gospel of Judas is he says so much about the future that comes true, including that Judas's side of the story will be hidden for thousands of years and then revealed. Since all that comes true, it kind of proves that he's real. But this great, wonderful proof that Jesus is real and has these miraculous powers, or from the future or something, is not something that the churches want to promote because it criticizes the churches. So they care more about their churches than they care about Jesus. John Cena or Ric Flair? I don't know. I know there's one wrestler that was calling out fascism. I forgot his name. I think it starts with an S. Stein, Sims, something. I'm not sure. But he's good. I approve of that. I'm just looking and listening, trying to do the next thing. Well, thank you. Flair, goddammit. So, I don't know. I'm going to go with that person. They seem passionate about it. Who needs to be replaced is the lies you fed yourself. I'm not lying. How does Bo Nix come into this equation? Daniel Larson. Who is that? Who's Daniel Stern? I don't know who either of those people are. Christianity did not exist. Only Christ was born before man. There was no Christianity. Flair isn't better than John. Sticky Bandits. What about Bo Nix? Of course he is. Ric Flair or Hulk Hogan. Well, not Hulk Hogan's betrayed us. He betrayed us for Trump, and he went out as a Trumper. You can't see Cena. That? You think the the Broncos can win the Super Bowl? Yes, definitely Broncos can win the Super Bowl. Broncos will win the Super Bowl. I'll tell you that right now. Hogan, goddamn it, no. Fuck Hogan. Fuck any Trump Hooniers. They betrayed us. It's sad that you could be a well-meaning person, but you're too busy being a cultist. It doesn't really keep me that busy. I was just talking to you guys. Okay, somebody's just putting single letters, which usually they're trying to, like, yep, trying to make racial slurs. I'll just go ahead and block that person so we don't have to talk to him anymore. That's ridiculous. Sorry about that, everybody. Okay. Somebody else is doing it too? How is that anti-Semitic? What did I say was anti-Semitic? Comparing Rob Reiner and Charlie Kirk as anti-Semitic and anti-Christ and anti-American? Okay. He knew he F up too. Let me be a mod. I don't have any mods. Look what I started. What'd you start? Don't let that guy be a mod. Don't worry, I don't have any mods. New Jack used to walk in the house backwards. Wow, the racism is real. Jealousy of another race is insane. It's true. And you know what, Lily? YouTube blocked that comment. I had to approve your comment. I apologize for that. Hello. Wow. Yeah, that's what they do. Judas Iscariot from 2, I recommend. From 2? Jealousy of another religion is insane. It is. Like, don't you have your own religion? And is Christianity the only religion that, like, more people left it than are in it? People don't leave other religions like that. Like, you can tell there's something wrong with Christianity. Jesus is cool and people continue to believe in Jesus. Can we talk Broncos instead of religion? What do you want to talk about the Broncos? They're going to win. Like, I'm in the Bronco Obama cult. Like, I make a religion of the Broncos as well. Someone once told me that religion is a glorified cult. Maybe. What's wrong with cults? I also made Unicopia, Unicorn Cult, and I opened up the Church of Judas, which I consider that Jesus and Judas made. But they keep saying Ross Bay Cult Eternal. I don't know what that means. What's Ross Bay? It's organized church that can become a cult. Bull dagger. I don't know what that means. Correct. It's a trap because it's an actual test of one's own logical sense of awareness of what a supposed deity would tell you. That's a good point. I'm here. Glad you made it, Dustin. We only got about 10 minutes left of the live, so say what you came to say. Holy dick cheese, you are the saw guy. I don't know if that's true. Allow me to introduce myself. Hello. He was an asshole. Yep, probably. Let me tell you one thing. I didn't gain my strength from the gym. I grew up on a farm. Oh, that's cool. I bet that does make you really strong. My family grew up on farms some generations ago. I bet they were really strong. Dude, take a shower and shut up. Agreed. I bet you are on government funding. I wish. Government funding would be sweet. Socialism would be sweet. I would want more socialism for myself and for everyone. Thank you for wishing that for me. That's what you think one person is ruining your life. Haha, Broncos. Oh, I guess the Dolphins are not going too far this year now. Broncos are doing awesome though. The Broncos are the best team in football right now. Yes, they were because, and for the rest of the year, Broncos are going to win it all. Yes, they were because it broke the hold of the Catholic Church had on the divine rules of kings. Judas and Jesus had a relationship that's hard to decipher, hard to understand. They were friends. That's not hard to understand. They may have been more than that. What the fuck is going on here? Sorry it took so long to time out the fascist. Do you sniff your hand when you wipe your sweaty bum pipe? It may seem paradoxical, but the trick is to allow him to use force. Who? What? We know this because churches crown kings without the church being able to crown a king. There's no kings or courts rule. See, I don't believe in all the king stuff, though. I believe Christianity got most things backwards. I've only got a few more comments to read. I'm going to go ahead and read them and then shut down the live. Thank y'all for talking with me, though. Do what? People leave all religions, not just Christians. Do they, though? Like the Christians? I feel like there's a lot more ex-Christians and descendants of ex-Christians than there are current Christians. And then the ex-Christians will still believe in Jesus. They just don't believe in the church. And I think that's because Jesus isn't really in the church in that way. Christianity largest on the planet. It's a lot of space. And I think the things that they did to spread are going to be things that they need to reverse, like trying to displace and erase and destroy other cultures is the great shame of Christianity, that we should use all the resources and amassed wealth of Christianity as reparations to all those cultures that they tried to do that to try to bring them back, or to, support what's left of them. Am I in a different chat? I'm not seeing any of this. I'm just reading from, I'm catching up. I'm a little bit behind. Charlie Kirk was in a, nope. They tried to say that Charlie Kirk was an American patriot. Nope. I mean, he might have thought he was. Like, a lot of people are duped into some Trump-Putineer bullshit that makes them actual traitors to America. I'm literally having a poo right now. I hope it's a good one. Charlie Kirk was a manipulator. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was a fascist. We are Charlie Kirk. Well, stop being Charlie Kirk. And stop you shooting yourselves, MAGA. Stop shooting yourselves, disobey unlawful orders. Stop shooting yourselves, mostly. And stop trying to blame us for it. Do you ever wash up and comb your hair? I bathe a lot, but I don't comb my hair ever. What's the point? He used the church to manipulate. That's completely against the message of Christ. Exactly. I am Charlie Kirk. Yeah, you're talking about Charlie Kirk used the church to manipulate. Yeah, he did. He's Antichrist. Like, all Trump-Putineers are Antichrist. Trump is the Antichrist, and all the Trump-Putineers are Antichrist for supporting him. If you say, think, and do the opposite of everything Trump does, you'll find Jesus. It's the only, good thing about having the Antichrist around. But we can do the same thing once he's gone. We can get rid of the Antichrist and all his influence and still be able to look back historically on how that was and remember what makes things good. He used the church to manipulate. That's completely against the message of Christ. What in the actual fuck? What chat am I in? Not seeing any of this going on. So people claim that the free healthcare would create lower quality care due to hospitals having a waiting list. What's your take on that? I don't believe that. We'd have better care because there would be less waste in all the insurance industry and all the things, all the people they pay to try to decide who can't get healthcare, all that stuff. The forcible penetration of Christ inside you, brother. You need to relent. That's who you want. Christ to be forceful. I think you were the person who said something about doing something forceful. I think Christ is that forceful that way. I think that's what requires our collaborative, peaceful effort. Same, I do not follow the idea of kings. I think we're very much spiritual brothers, Joseph Bearpaw. I'm really glad you're here, and thanks for coming back and talking to me again. No, there's only a lot. We're only live for 5 more minutes, so we're going to shut this down in 5 minutes. I might go live again after that. Probably I'll go to sleep. I hope you have sweet dreams too. No, there's a difference between a bullet that actually looking into, do your own research before stating a false statement. But between a belief, not a bullet. Sorry, that was on my white shirt. I should put that away. Are those your paintings on the wall? I like them. Thanks. Oh yeah, one of them fell down. I like that one a lot myself. Okay. It's all bullshit. No politician cares. Wake up. It's all same. You're all getting played against each other. Just check out Jasmine Crockett. That'll prove that you're wrong. Jasmine Crockett's awesome. Once you start listening to Jasmine Crockett, you'll feel better. She's going to be our next president, I think. They make no sense. Kings has a self-arrogance and self-centered belief only I or it matters, which is not how an entity with power of the fundament would ever need or want. This is why liberals shouldn't smoke crack. Nobody should smoke crack. What do you mean should smoke crack? Absolutely not. You people are the problem. This country, I hope you get your disgusting ass out of my country. Despicable bastard. He really doesn't like me saying things. Thank you. Trump engineers can never spell Lord. Thanks, M's Lionheart. I like your name. Look into Canada. They wait forever to get anything done. Ask an actual Canadian instead of stating an opinion. I've never seen Canadians complain, actually. Yeah, you don't look like a man who should be preaching the gospel. You definitely don't sound like a Christian. I'm not a Christian. I wasn't trying to be a Christian. Church of Judas is like the final form of Christianity. Right, Sir Fart. This children's is why you don't do drugs. Its very existence always has covered the entity. Okay, I gotta read fast because we're running out of time. Its very existence always has covered the entity, and if there was any need or want, it does already has whatever it would ever want or need because its nature is infinite. Yeah, like talking about the goddess, right? Like the spiritual being that we're all a part of. Jasmine Crockett will pay you just like the last. They always say what you want to hear but do nothing about it. No, Jasmine Crockett's good. Everybody loves her. She's awesome. Do boof shrooms is the face of evil. I'm not trying to get on the Supreme Court. Weak chin. You look unwell. Thank you. So then, don't be a Christian, whatever, but it's one of the best creators of good governance. Every colonized country granted independence. It's way worse off now. Every colonized country granted independence. Like, can you even hear yourself? Yeah. Hi from Australia. Hello, Australia. Granted independence. I think a lot of colonized countries, such as America, won their independence through bloody warfare. Like, you just act like things didn't happen in order to fit some weird agenda. Fascism's weird. It makes people say weird things. I promise you'll be disappointed with the next politician. Of course, everyone loves her when we have heard that before with politicians. Seriously. No, Jasmine Crockett's awesome. I've never been disappointed with Jasmine Crockett. She's like, she speaks the truth. She's got like the Holy Spirit, you know. It's like, just check out Jasmine Crockett. You'll love her too. She's going to win as the senator for Texas, or I'm hoping she'll skip right to president. Then maybe she'll run for Senate next year and then run for president the next year, you know, because the presidential election is 2 years later. So she'll win the Senate in such a big, astounding way that people demand she run for president because, you know, it'd be cool. And she'd be the senator in the meantime, I guess. Fuzzy, what does it mean to be an actual Christian? It's self-guidance, not a task of overlordship. Well said. I don't agree about Jasmine. Yes, but I'm talking about non-Christian colonized country, not Australia, etc. Couldn't fit it in. That's cool. I gotta shut down the live though, because I only got 1 minute left. If I don't remember to shut it down. I think Jasmine Crockett is the first woman president USA deserves. I think AOC should be her vice president. I think that would be an awesome dream team powerhouse couple that shows people we're not, you know, trying to, you know, not trying to Tim Walz it up. I mean, Tim Walz is fine, but we're not trying to like, you know, bring in the white man for the, you know, we don't need even Gavin Newsom. Like, he could be fine too, I guess. I'm not against him. I mean, I don't know. I think Jasmine Crockett and AOC have a lot more credentials and resonance with everybody that really matters. The people on the left. So thanks. Why would being who is the foundation of all creation need or want you to subjugate yourself to it? Yeah, we're all part of the same thing. Anyway, thanks so much. See you guys soon. Sweet dreams. God bless you, Mary bless you, Mary bless you, Mary bless you, Jesus bless you, Judas bless you, I bless you, bless yourself. See y'all next time.